Hey, what's happening everyone? Journeyman here and welcome back to Save Our Saints. Today's episode number 28 and we open up our Europa League campaign up against Zrinski, the easiest team in the group without a shadow of a doubt. And then we have a big match up against Manchester United. As things currently stand, it is top versus second place. Both teams had a great start to the campaign. Something is going to give today. Hey everyone, once again, welcome to part 28 of Save Our Saints. As I mentioned, we have a very big game against Manchester United in the second game of the episode. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. We have to take on Zrinski first in the Europa League, open up that campaign, hopefully get off to a good start. And we'll see some of the rotational players have a good game too, to force my hand of maybe giving them some more appearances. But anyway, there's been 5 games since the last time you joined us, so let's go recap some of those fixtures. After the demolition of Newcastle in the last episode, we took on local rivals Brighton Hove Albion, and a hat-trick from Erling Haaland responded well after an opening day disappointment performance. He came back here and got himself a hat-trick, a penalty in the 35th minute, and then he got himself 2 goals just before half-time. So a first half hat-trick for Erling Haaland, replying to Florian Andoni, which, by the way, he scored every single time he's played against us. I don't know what Andoni has against us, but he has something, and he's found the net on every time we played him. After the Brighton game, we beat Crystal Palace 2-1 here. Goals from Justin Kluivert and Erling Haaland getting another goal as well. Responded from a Danilo own goal in the second minutes. We were largely in control of this game. Crystal Palace didn't really get any decent opportunities until the very end of the game as they were pushing for an equaliser. But overall, very, very solid display. Alright, and here's our first drop point of the season. Tottenham away from home, which really isn't that big of a deal, be honest with you. Tottenham still have a pretty good side in this save. Even though they missed out on Europe last year, they're still a pretty good team. If you look down the list, they've still got Trippier, Alderweireld, Sanchez, Lloris, Hugo Lloris also in goal, Dele Alli, Mandzukic leads the line, by the way, ahead of Harry Kane after Harry Kane was sold off last year, and Lucas Moura is still in there. There's still some very, very talented Tottenham players in there, so a 0-0 draw away to Tottenham is actually a pretty okay result. After that, it was a 1-0 victory over newcomers to the Premier League, West Brom. A comfortable victory really in the end, should have been more than a single goal, but Erling Haaland doing the job in the 23rd minute with a penalty. And most recently, we just beat Cardiff here 3-0. We rotated some of the team out just in kind of lieu of this episode. Goals from Cosimo, Marco de Grassa, Anthony Martial and Lacazette getting us a 3-0 win here. Very, very comfortable once again. 24 shots to 6, controlled the game pretty much, 67% possession, 11 shots on target. Honestly, Cardiff were pretty lucky to keep it down to 3. Alright, that takes us all the way up to today's opponent, Zrinski Mostar of, what do they play? I don't even know where they played. Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, yeah, obviously they're not really, there's not a lot of teams in Bosnia that we know of. Obviously, not really a lot of famous ones. And yeah, it should be a very comfortable victory for us. We look over their 3 players they currently have in their team. Stefan Vego currently is what we consider a Sky Bet League 2 level player. Devis Martic is probably the best player, to be honest with you. Could probably play in Sky Bet League 1, allegedly, according to my scouts. And then the other lad, yeah, currently operating the Sky Bet League 2. Potential to be a championship player, but as you can see, the 3 players they have in their side really aren't up to much. So this game should be pretty comfortable. And with that in mind, I decided to rotate the squad out pretty much completely. Give a lot of rotation players a game today, and a lot of young players too, to see what they can offer us. So in goal is going to be Angus Gunn to start off with. Jamie Toljan is going to be right back, coming back from an injury, so it's good to get him some first team football in a pretty non-stress situation. Matt Targett comes in at left wing back. Chance for him today. We dropped to third choice behind Toljan and Brian Bertrand. Mavropanos makes his debut after recovering from injury. Wesley Hoyt partners him. Midfield, Thomas Harlan, who hasn't played a game yet this season, and Morgan Schneiderlin, who's only made appearances off the bench. Chances for them in midfield to impress me. Patrick Roberts, first game of the season for him. Cam Slattery comes into the side for a first team start, a rare appearance for him. Gustavo Scarpa goes to the left wing as an inside forward. Erling Haaland does lead the line. I wanted to make sure we had at least one first team player in there. So Erling Haaland's in there. 5 goals in the campaign so far, so a good start for Erling, especially after the disappointing performance up against Newcastle in the first one. On the bench, I noticed a few different players in there. First of all, Dean Purby. Yep, he's a centre back. Joined us in the first youth intake, I believe. He's shown a bit of promise. Had some good appearances in the reserve, so I gave him a shot to sit on the bench. If he gets a game later, that'd be good. Otherwise, Max Gross, German goalkeeper that we brought in last campaign, I think, on the youth academy. We didn't really have a choice. We basically had to choose between a half injured Pedrag, or we can bring in Gross. So just brought in Gross. It's fine. He's not going to get a game anyway. Very unlikely to. Phil Roberts also comes in. I want to take a look at him. If Slattery obviously performs well, we'll keep him on, but I don't mind switching out and maybe giving Phil Roberts a go. He's had a really good start to the campaign up against professional teams. So the Czech Trophy, he got a 7.9 in that appearance, and he looks sharp. He looked like he's improving nicely. So we'll give him a run out if we possibly can. Apart from that, recognisable faces: Fonsu Mensah, Vecino, obviously Martial and Casimo de Glass are obviously in there as well. But anyway, it shouldn't be too much of a problem today. Should be a pretty easy matchup, I would imagine, especially playing at home. So, the line of 4-5-1 formation. Let's just get this game going. As I mentioned, it really should be a comfortable game. I don't really foresee any problems. All right, and I've got to mention, by the way, we were drawn up in a group here, obviously, with Zrinski, today's opponent, Valencia, who are the toughest test of this group stage, and obviously AZ Alkmaar of Holland as well. So I don't really see a problem getting through this group. It's a pretty kind draw in our favour. So as long as we stay solid, injury-free, it leaves us opportunities now to then focus on the League Cup, the Premier League, something we've in the League Cup we've kind of neglected, in the FA Cup we kind of neglected over the last couple of seasons. I would like to win a domestic trophy with Southampton. I think that would be a pretty cool achievement. Erling Haaland makes it 1-0. Simple as you like. But as I was mentioned, it's nice having a nice easy Europa League group, just so we can kind of focus on other things as well. I'd like to, maybe pick up a trophy this season. That'd be pretty epic, because we get to win our first one as manager of Southampton. So anyway, let's hopefully we'll change that this season. All right, Roberts whips the ball in now. Slattery with a header to Haaland. Good chance for Erling Haaland. Really should have found the back of the net. Good knockdown from Cam Slattery. Here's Target now. It's tackled pretty well, and it's cleared only as far as Mavropanos. That's Haaland to Roberts. Pat Bob to Haaland. Back to Toljan on the overlap. Gets to the bar line, pulls it back to nobody. He had about 4 players sitting around the box, but he didn't aim at any of them. So here's maybe a chance for Zrinski on the break, but as you can see, they're just not a very good team, are they? If we don't win this by a couple of goals, I will be shocked. But anyway, here's Haaland now, gets in the box. Thomas Haaland, good finish there from Thomas Haaland on his season debut. A lot of promise still in the kid, obviously. He's kind of dropped to 4th place now in the pecking order as far as midfielders go. Or you could argue 5th place. You could argue 5th place, who's behind Schneiderlin. And obviously, I am striving to get him some first-team appearances, but obviously, again, it's fun. It's a balancing act. It's balancing act between getting him game time and actually, competing to win games. All right, so here's Toljan now. Roberts coming in the air. That's Haaland, though. Does well to win it back. There's Toljan. Finds Haaland at the edge of the area. Haaland to Schneiderlin. Schneiderlin to Haaland. Schneiderlin back to Scarpa. He's got Target on the overlap. All the time in the world. Later to Scarpa. Back to Target. Neat interchange in play here from the Saints. There's Haaland now. Gets his second goal of the game. Thomas Haaland makes it 2. I think he's only ever scored for us in the Europa League. I think he got 2 in a game last year, and I don't think he scored in the Premier League yet. So Thomas Haaland, the master of Europe, gets himself another goal today. All right, half-time here, 3-0 up, as easy as you can get, honestly. They haven't really threatened our goal whatsoever, and they don't look like they're going to. So I'm just going to keep it going here for the second half. I'm a little bit a little bit concerned in the fact that Callum Slattery is complacent. I mean, this is a good opportunity for him to really stake a claim as a first-team regular. There have been potential rumours of Gustavo Scarpa leaving the club, which means it would have a gap as a backup attacking centre midfielder. And I pictured Callum Slattery stepping up into that role. But if you can't put in a good performance here against a weak Bosnian team, I have doubts that he can make it long run. Obviously, I'm hoping for a better performance here in the second half, but I need to see more from him before I commit to him being my backup attacking midfielder. Here he is now, speaking of the devil. There's Toljan to Roberts. Roberts hits it long. There's Haaland to Gustavo. Gustavo drifting out wide. Goes by his man. Whips the ball in beautifully. Callum Slattery lays to Haaland. Haaland puts it back in. There's Scarpa with the effort and a good save from their keeper. Good build-up play from the Saints here early in the second half, and that was a decent opportunity for Scarpa. Probably should have made that 4-0. Alright, 56 minutes on the clock. We've seen enough of Erling Haaland. We'll rest him in preparation for the weekend game against Manchester United. And we'll bring on Casimo now for the remainder of the game, get him some time out there. And I'm going to bring on Phil Roberts. Honestly, Slattery hasn't impressed me, so let's give Phil Roberts a game today. Alright, so here's Roberts now, whips the ball into Patrick Roberts. Roberts to Roberts connection. Patrick Roberts to Phil Roberts. And it's his first goal for the club as well. Instant impact there from the young sub. And a good volley in the box there, holding off his man. And a comfortable finish in the end, but a good one, nevertheless. Alright, 70 minutes on the clock here. Here's Mavropanos. Honestly, he hasn't much to do on his debut. Look very comfortable. Here's the Grasser now for on goal. And he's hacked down pretty cynically there, and it goes to a penalty, so Haaland's going to step up. Chance for his hat-trick, and Thomas Haaland has himself a hat-trick there. Third goal of the game for Mr. Thomas Haaland, and as a blink of an eye, he's now put himself into first-team consideration for the Premier League game, obviously at the weekend against Manchester United. Be very harsh to drop a guy after scoring a hat-trick midweek in Europe. Alright, with about 15 minutes to go in this game, we'll see what happens with this highlight. And then we'll probably make a change. We'll bring on perhaps Dean Purby for his professional debut too. So Dean, he's centre defender cover, has his passing. Yeah, it's pretty decent. He could play as a ball-playing defender. That's okay with me. Yeah, he can do that job. There you go. So bring on Dean Purby for his debut. Last 15 minutes. But here's Patrick Roberts now. Hack down. Only ball's cleared only as far as Wesley Hoyt. So let's try and build another attack. That's a terrible ball from Wesley Hoyt. A chance for maybe Zrinski to get a consolation, but poor effort in the end from the attacking midfielder. Alright, time's up here in the game itself, and it's ended up a comfortable 5-0 victory for the guys, or the Southampton reserve side there. Obviously, highlights of the game there, Thomas Haaland's hat-trick, and obviously Phil Roberts getting himself a goal as well. I believe that might have actually been his... No, he played in Europe last year, so that's only his second game for the football club though, and get himself a goal. So good job there, Phil Roberts. Welcome to the first team. And before this Man United game, obviously got the scouting report coming from Manchester United, and just going through the first team, it's an extremely talented first team. To say the least. Obviously, they still have David De Gea in goal there. Lucas Digne, obviously at left back, a very capable left back in this game. Very talented, valued at 41 million at right back. Elseed Hassaj, Albanian right back. Again, another very physical, talented right back. Eric Bailey still playing centre half for them. It's a little bit surprising, but he does actually look pretty decent in this, doesn't he? I mean, our question is maybe in real life performances, but Eric Bailey looks actually pretty good there. Lindelof, again, that's another one that's kind of confusing. I'm not sure why they haven't improved the centre half, but Lindelof, by the way, now is valued at £61 million. Not quite sure how many clubs in the world would pay £61 million to Lindelof, but there you have it. Ruben Neves. Obviously, Wolves fans will be very familiar with him as the deep line playmaker. They got Pancic in midfield, who is absolutely sublime. Even at 31 years old, he's still a great player. He's partnered by Frank Kessie, 24-year-old Ivorian player. Obviously, physically off the charts, mentally off the charts. Technically not as gifted as you would imagine for a Manchester United player, but mentally and physically top class, really. Suso on the right of midfield, obviously the former Milan winger. Still as dangerous as ever there. Classic out-and-out winger. Then Jadon Sancho, we know him from the Saving Our Lions series. You know how talented this young man is. At 21 years old, he's already notched up 10 goals for England. That's a pretty impressive record. And Harry Kane, well, we all know who Harry Kane is. Alright, so here we go. A big game against Manchester United at home. As you can see, it's second place versus top of the table. Obviously, the difference between the two sides right now is goal difference. +4 in Manchester United's favour. So, there's been a couple of games over the weekend already, and we maintained our place. So, honestly, it's been a very strong start to the campaign. 5 wins out of 6. You couldn't really ask for a better start to the year. So, one injury news report I didn't actually talk about in the last one. That's Gambin. He's going to be out for quite some time with a broken ankle, 3 to 7 more weeks until he gets fully recovered. Disappointing, really. He had a very strong start to the campaign, and I pictured him being a very, very key player for us. So disappointing to see him go down to a broken ankle. But so far, indeed, he's done pretty well as a ball midfielder, and Vecino has come in and has been sublime, absolutely sublime. His passing rating, by the way, in the Premier League this season is 90%. He gets 90% of his passes correct. That's a marvellous record there. Well, let's hope it continues today up against Manchester United. We're going to have to do our best here to try and keep possession, because if we get anything out of this game, it's going to be because we have the ball and they don't. So, anyway, yep, here we go. Up against Manchester United at home, top versus second place here. Doesn't really get much more exciting than this, does it? Even at 3 in the morning when I'm recording this, I'm feeling, I'm feeling the hairs on the back of my my arm rise in anticipation for what could be a very, very important game. But here we go. So here's Harry Kane now, just less than a minute in the game. There's Suso, gets in the box. Good tackle there from Ndidi. You notice, by the way, we're staying on positive. We've decided to go more positive at home, and away from home we'll start to be a bit more cautious. So we start off, hopefully, on the attacking foot here. Front foot, I should say. But here's Martial to Haaland to Grealish. He's through on goal. Jack Grealish gets himself a goal. 1 minute, 21 seconds in the game. Jack Grealish makes it 1-0 to the Saints. Third goal of the season there for the English attacking centre midfielder. He's honestly, he's looking as sharp as ever, looking really good, looking like that first season form when he came to us a couple of years ago. Last year was a bit of a blip for him. He had some good moments, but also had a lot of bad ones too. And so far, season 4 is looking like the year of the Grealish. Anyway, here's Suso, whips the ball, and Jadon Sancho, the Lindelof. Doesn't look like the head of a £61 million defender, does it? All right, here's Danilo now, deep inside the Manchester United half. Here's Vecino now, gets in the box, and he's brought down, and it's a penalty. Now, Erling Haaland has taken every penalty so far this season and scored every single one of them. Hopefully I haven't jinxed him there. Here's Erling Haaland, and that's a good penalty there, just underneath David De Gea, and he makes it 2-0 to Southampton here at home against Manchester United, and it's been a great start to the game for the Saints, and long may it continue. All right, here's Danilo to Vecino, back to Danilo again. Cuts inside, tackle there from Sancho. Vecino picks up the loose ball. There's Ndidi to Martial. Be great for him to get a goal today. Oh, decent effort there from Martial, just hitting the top of the roof of the net. All right, Ndidi wins that ball back beautifully. Danilo puts it forward to Vecino. He's not going to get many of those. Not the type of ball we want to see him chase. But here's De Gea now. Launches it long, looking for Harry Kane. Diallo's there with an interception, but the ball's bounced around unkindly. And here's Sancho now, through on goal. And a good save there from Angus Gunn. Had to be on his toes. Hasn't done much so far today, Angus Gunn, but that was a good save. All right, corner kick. Suso whips his ball in. Ndidi with the clearance. Grealish looks to latch onto it. Can't get the ball clear. Here's Sancho. He's in the box. To Pancic. Pancic to Kessie, and that's a really, really, really good strike there from Frank Kessie. That's his third goal of the campaign. And Man United are right back in this game just before the end of the first half. All right, halftime here, 2-1, lead over Manchester United, and playing very, very well. Obviously, it would have been great to keep that clean sheet going into the halftime break, but wasn't meant to be. Now, I noticed, by the way, Martial isn't playing that well, 6.2. We needed him to be big today, and I would have loved to see him take over the game and destroy his former employees, but not meant to be so far, so we'll look to maybe take him off at some point if he continues playing this way. But for now, we'll keep things obviously as they are. Jack Grealish can move out to the left of the midfield. Lacazette can also play out there too. So those are two options, two very good options for me I can utilise if Martial's performance doesn't increase. All right, here's Bertrand now. The free kick. Ryan Bertrand hits the post. Smacked it dead on there from the left back. He's got a few blinders in his time in this save. And that was almost another one for the collection. Alright, Grealish flicks it onto Haaland now. Gets back to Grealish again. Gets a good position in the box. But he's tackled by Kessie. And there's another penalty. Grealish is brought down in the box by Kessie. And here's Haaland now. Chance to make it 3-1. Come on, Erling Haaland steps up. And plays it under De Gea. De Gea once again gets the right way. But too good of a penalty. Erling Haaland's 8th goal of the campaign. Early good season form here from Erling Haaland. And... good penalty there, just out the reach of De Gea, but 3-1 to Southampton. 20 minutes to go in this game to what could be a very, very important victory for us. All right, 10 minutes to go in this game. Time to maybe freshen up some legs out there. So we'll bring on Lacazette for Martial to play on the left side as an inside forward. Any other changes? Not really required, honestly. I want to try and keep it as... trying to keep it as consistent as possible because things are going just so well for us. Just got to hold on now, a couple more minutes, and it will be a fantastic result. We kept Harry Kane very quiet today. Issa Diop and Abdou Diallo doing a great job at the heart of our defence. Here's Lacazette now to Vecino, and there it is. The full-time whistle has gone, and it is a fantastic 3-1 win over Manchester United. Not just a fantastic win, but a dominating win over what could be our Premier League rivals this season. As you can see, 15 shots to their 7, 6 on target to their 3. They only beat us on fouls, but the possession, now that is an impressive stat against a team like Manchester United. 62% to their 38. Fantastic performance from the boys today, and honestly, you couldn't have asked for a better performance, really. Top notch all the way around, and that fills me with a lot of excitement, a lot of hope for this campaign as we sit at the top of the table, 7 games in, no defeats, only conceded 4 goals. All that money we spent in the summer to improve our defense so far is looking pretty good business to me. But yeah, that's going to wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. The episode really couldn't have gone any better for me, to be honest with you. So looking ahead now, these are the fixtures coming up in the very near future. We take on Brighton next in the League Cup. Then we take on Arsenal away from home in the Premier League. That'll be a tough one. Arsenal have started very well this campaign. Despite the 11th place in the table, I have kept an eye on their side, and they look like a really good side. I think when they get their kind of shit together, they'll be a good team. Definitely worth me keeping my eye on. Then play Valencia, by far our toughest opposition here in the group stages. Then Watford, Bournemouth, international break in there at some point as well. So I'm just trying to pick out when we should have our next game. I'm looking maybe at the AZ Alkmaar game and the Liverpool game, perhaps, because that would give us a 5-game gap in between there. Maybe a 6-game gap, because I think maybe the 4th round gets put in the hit if we get through to the next stage. But so far, fantastic start to the season. No complaints at all. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the season so far? Just let me know what you think so far. Honestly, I truly appreciate your feedback on the issue. Not an issue at all, but is it? But you know what I meant. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button. If you want to see more from me in the future, please hit subscribe, turn notifications on. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, great to see you, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.